I was getting an adrenaline rush from gambling. I knew at about 17 I had a bit of a problem. Then I couldn't stop and it took control of my life. Gambling turned me into a criminal. My parents had drink issues, so they drank a lot. And then about the age of 7, myself, my 2 sisters and my 4 other brothers were all taken away from my parents and put into the foster care system. I would have known about gambling, but a few of my friends in school had already kind of started. One day at lunchtime, they asked me if I wanted to go down. I kind of loved it straight away. I lost the first few bets, but about 5 or 6 bets in, I won like €200. I was getting an adrenaline rush from gambling. If my bets were close to winning, you feel on top of the world. And if they lost at the time, I was kind of thinking, it's fine, I'll win the next one. That first big win you ever have, that's kind of what you're chasing after for as long as you gamble. I knew at about 17 I had a bit of a problem, but I was always kind of able to find my way out of whatever little trouble I got myself into. Some of the biggest things that happened to me down through the years, I found myself homeless for a couple of days because I didn't pay my rent. I once sold my brother's car without him knowing. He had a spare car and I borrowed it and I sold it so I could gamble, and he found out after I sold it. Because about 27, I started a cat rescue in Ireland. Eventually we became a registered Irish charity and I was in control of the money. And because I was gambling, because of my addiction, I started to take some of that money and I started to use it for gambling. It was December 2019 that I found out. It was €27,500 is what I stole. It took me about 3 years to repay the money and I was actually facing a substantial prison sentence. I kind of wanted to end things there and then. I didn't really want to face having to tell people what I'd done. It was on the local newspapers and the radio. It became very public, so I wasn't just trying to beat my addiction. I was also trying to deal with the fallout of stealing the money and trying to get people to trust me again. That was kind of the point where it was either, look, I go to prison or I start dealing with my issues. Gambling affected my relationships. It was a pretty dark place. You don't want to go to work. So if you lose money, you can't afford to go to work. If you win money, you don't want to because you're like, I have money, I don't need to go. It affects your motivation. So you don't want to get up in the morning. You kind of stay in bed till maybe 1, 2 p.m. and then you're going to bed at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because you're up late gambling. It damages everything. I actually ended up going for one-on-one addiction counselling. We did it through Zoom and phone calls. That's kind of when everything for me changed. I've achieved 4 years of being gamble free is something I could have never dreamt of before. My mental health is good. I feel better. I look better than when I was gambling. Everything improves when you stop. Addiction wants to make you feel alone. That's why it's so successful at catching people. It makes you feel like you're by yourself, but you're not. There's millions of us, and the more we talk, the better you'll get. No matter where you are, you can work your way out of it. I am seen. Are you?